It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts, Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Why, hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are watching us live and in living color right now and you have not subscribed to our channel, in the words of Jennifer Love Hewitt, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you'll never miss when we're going live or when we've uploaded a brand new episode. Also, make sure if you have not already found us, I don't know what I'm doing today. If you want some exclusive content on our exclusive page for our exclusive members, make sure you hit the join button. And for $4.99 a month, you can be the first to see some exclusive content, such as Tia Says, brought to you by Araceli Aviles, who gives you friendly, cool advice from the cool Tia that she is, to some of our favorite Salemites. Or if you want to know a little bit more about Those Were the Days, you can check out Those Were the Days Extended, brought to you by Justin Lee Hareld, where he takes a deep dive into the history of Days of Our Lives. And you can also chat with us during our virtual events that we have once a month, where we gather the fans and members and we just talk about days, talk about life, sometimes over a cocktail or sometimes right after this show. So for all of that exclusive material, make sure you check our exclusive members page for only $4.99. Hit the join button right there on our YouTube channel and make sure you're using your laptop computer in order to find the join button. Also, if you want to take us on a long walk, or while you're sitting at the beach, or maybe you're having a picnic and feeding the seagulls, you can catch us on your favorite podcast stations such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Google Podcasts no longer exists, as someone so kindly messaged.
Yes.
And while we haven't updated this just yet, I wanted to point that out.
Okay.
That was a lovely message that this woman said. Like, I feel like it was kind, but then I felt like there was a tone behind it. Like, Google Podcast hasn't been around for over a year. Update your stuff. I was just like, noted. So it's updated. Apple Podcast, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Boom. And of course, make sure you show some love to our favorite former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., who is the head bitch in charge over at JLJ Media on YouTube, and where all podcasts can be found. You can get your full fix of the other soap operas, such as Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, and General Hospital. Just make sure you subscribe to his channel and also find them, again, where all podcasts can be found. Not Google Podcasts, because that is closed. And of course, share your thoughts with us throughout the show and let us know what you're thinking, because we always have thoughts and we are always thinking. Mm-hmm. Apparently not me, because, I don't know how I got through that, barely.
There are just some Sundays where our minds are clear and some Sundays where they are not.
Yeah.
It is supposed to be a day of rest.
You know what?
As the Lord intended.
Mm-hmm. And on the seventh day, they rest.
They dished.
They dished. Yes. Well, speaking of dishing, what do we think of this week's episodes of Days?
It was a pretty solid week, I thought.
That means it was all right and we got through it enough so that we could come and talk about it.
No, I think it was a lot, actually. when I look back at this week, I was almost a little jarred at how much was going on. It almost felt like too much.
It was very fast paced too.
Yeah.
I felt like I felt like I got whiplash a couple times just by like, I was like, oh, that's already, they had that conversation. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think with this,
No,
sorry, I was like cutting it out. I think with these new writers, we're gonna have to get used to the fact that they're including everyone in everything, and the pacing is fast, even if there's not much plot going on. Yeah, because it seems like every week we're like, oh, so there was so much movement in terms of not necessarily plot, but so many different people having interactions with different people that it feels like a lot happened, but plot-wise, maybe not a lot did happen. But
shout out to
it's different. Yeah.
Sorry, side note. Shout out to James Lott Jr., who is in the building. My dearest, oldest friend has arrived.
Yes. And everybody, and we didn't need James this week. Usually I rely on James to remind us who is related to who, but this week it was like a constant reminder of, oh yeah, they're related. Oh yeah, they're related. Oh yeah, they're related. Oh, they have someone in common.
You know, now that you mentioned the pacing, it does feel different, where I feel like it's almost like they're not concentrating on just one person. It really feels like you're watching what's happening throughout the day, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like they're just kind of moving through everybody.
And I feel like the days are turning over quicker. I feel like it's like one day, and then for a couple episodes, then it's the next day. Like
But one short day in the Emerald City.
Not Anthony Monaco listening from the Malibu Creek rock pool. Okay. Let's pause for a second here while I give props to our viewers for really taking to heart what we say about taking us with you wherever you go, because Anthony is listening to us sitting by a pool, and during this week James, shut up. I'm trying to make a point.
No, James, Google Podcast has been gone for a year. We have updated our list. Thank you. You update yours too,
James. Yeah.
And during our exclusive happy hour this week for our exclusive members, one of our members took us with her on a cruise ship.
Shut up. Who was on a cruise?
Wendy, I believe, was
Yeah.
on a cruise.
Oh, Wendy.
Drinking her Bud Light.
Yes.
In Belize. We look in the background and we're like, where are you? Is that
This girl's on a boat.
where do we think you are?
Well, you know, Tom Early, who is the head production designer. Gosh, I think that's right. I always forget his like actual title. He'll listen to this and he'll tell me. I feel like that's what it is. But he always tells me that whenever he goes on a walk, he listens to us. And when he's in Portugal on his walk, he listens to us. So, yay. Hi. Thank you, Susan Russo, for joining our exclusive members page. Make sure, if you guys are just joining, make sure you watch the welcome video. That will give you some instructions on what you need to do. So that way you don't miss emails and such. So make sure you listen to the welcome video as soon as you sign up. Thank you, Susan Russo. We'll see you soon.
Yay.
All right.
Thank you, Dylan Matthews. I'm not sure if that's a joke or not, but it made me chuckle.
Oh, shut up. Y'all, she's gonna be so mad. Now she's gonna like message me and be like, you didn't have to do all that. And I'm like, if you know our show, like we will poke fun at something. Like this is harmless, like shade. Like, you know, we don't mean anything by it. I appreciate the fact that she reached out and said, hey, just FYI, because I'm pretty sure I knew that at some point, but I just kept, you know, you just get life is life.
We have lives.
There's so much.
We
There's
get
so
busy.
much happening. Yeah, and it's our bad. Thank you so much to the person who reminded me. Thank you. It's just our little kiki for today. We appreciate you. All right, shall we dive deeper into this week's episodes?
Yes.
All right, y'all. Blam, bum, 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 blam, bum, 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 blam, bum, 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 bum. It is now time to start Dishin
Dishin
Days.
Days.
Okay, that was. Oh, wait, who was out last week?
Me? No.
Oh, yeah.
Araceli.
Araceli was out last week. Just to let you know, Araceli, we said it all together last week, so I think the problem might be you.
Look, we've been saying for years
It's
now
you.
that we need
You're
to
the
do
problem.
in
It's you.
person. And we've probably been in person this year more than any other year, and we still haven't done it. So we haven't still recorded. So whatever.
Find us on Google Podcasts.
I hate y'all so much. Let's kick things off with our first storyline. Our first top storyline today is Xander crashes out.
So disappointing.
Yeah.
However, I enjoyed the drama of it. I feel like he and John Paul, like, probably, the way those scenes were acted was very good, despite the incredible disappointment I felt that they had to have Xander. Now, so far, he's only punched him, like, gave him a good solid punch, but I think a beatdown is coming.
God.
Is it what's the word I'm looking for that starts with a Q? Is it start with a Q?
Queer?
No.
That's a different thing.
Is it?
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah.
Is it?
That's different.
Not qualified. Warranted.
There you
Starts
go.
with a
Yeah.
W.
Mhm, yeah.
Is the beatdown warranted? I think as viewers, it's
Wait, what did he say?
the fans are just. It's my fault. Xander crashed out. I sent him to Phil. Thank you, Me World.
I was like, what's Phil?
I think it's because we know everything, and I think you have to have a moment where, okay, if you don't know this piece of information, how would you react? But I feel like new Xander should just be upset that people kept this from him. But again, look on the side of, look what is happening and look what's transpiring. You guys together, not separate, together took over Demerit Enterprises.
Mhm.
Why are you mad that he, and again, yes, he forced his way in, but what he's not doing is working against you in any way.
Mhm.
There's not a meeting where he's like, well, I own 50%, and so you should do it my way.
Mhm.
He's not doing that. He's not sabotaging anything. He is literally just being a part of the Kyriakis team.
And him stealing the Versavix was an attempt to get back into Xander's good graces.
Yeah.
And that was the part that Xander wasn't. Philip really didn't. I don't know if it was he didn't have a chance to explain fully, or like he didn't feel like he could. I don't feel like he explained himself properly as to why he did it. He just admitted to doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so Xander's not seeing that side of it either. That like stealing the Versavix is what prompted Xander to go over there and start pounding on him. But it wasn't an act against him. It wasn't Phillips. It wasn't an act against Xander, and Xander is not connecting those dots.
Yeah, I was wondering how far this was gonna go, and I was like, oh, at least like part of me was like, oh, are they gonna stop Philip from explaining his side, and then Xander's gonna attack him, and that's how it's gonna go. But Philip actually said it. He said, I'm doing this for two reasons. One is for Bo, which I was actually surprised Xander didn't give a reaction to. I was a little disappointed in that.
This is brother.
I thought that would be like the click to be like back down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, also, I want to reverse engineer it in case EJ gets the bid and we're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that it is like Xander didn't believe him, and it was like, oh, come on, like you're almost there, like, you know, like you see the forest for the trees here.
It's because none of the reasons that Philip laid out and none of the reasons that Xander is giving are the real reason that Xander lost his cool. He lost his cool for one reason and one reason only: his pride. His pride is still hurt. Xander has a thing about being lied to, rightfully so. He has this is now a really he just saw red. It's his line in the sand, don't lie to me, don't go behind my back kind of a thing, because Xander, for all of his shenanigans, even in the past, he's kind of always been a straight shooter and like, this is who I am, just deal with it kind of a thing. And he said, he said two things early in the week that convinced me of this. Is that the first was that he in his earlier conversation with Philip, when he ran into him in the square, he said that he had begun to think of him as a brother, and then he betrayed him. So there's his line in the sand right there. And then he told Alex that he didn't know if he could trust his own actions if Philip betrayed him again. So he gave literally multiple warnings that he was right on the edge with Philip. And it's all because of his pride. His pride is hurt because Philip lied to him. He can't trust him, so he can't see anything else.
I would take that if this was like the first week when he found out. But now I'm like, everybody has done stuff and lied and done things or whatever, but I feel like for the first time, this wasn't done with an ill intent. This was just an attempt to be a part of his father's legacy.
Oh yeah, no, no way does it have anything to do with it. Let me phrase this. Xander's reaction almost has nothing to do with what Philip actually did or what Philip intended to do. Mm-hmm. He can't hear it. All he sees is he screwed up again. He betrayed me again. The details don't matter.
I mean, well, then he needs to learn how to handle it better.
Oh yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, no. Did Philip screw up? Yes, absolutely. Think he screwed up. He with good intentions. He went into it, and like so many of Philip's plans, they just go bust. Something goes wrong. Unfortunately, this is very much in character with Philip. If he has a plan, he's more than likely going to screw it up, or something's going to happen to screw it up.
That's everybody in Salem. Everybody got a plan. We got a
plan. Philip in particular, people are always like, well, how could this be like, Victor's heir? Victor, the son that Victor raised. Was like, this has always been Philip. He's just bad at this. He's really bad at this.
Oh, Carolyn said it. Sarah ultimately was right, though. Exactly. We knew Sarah was right for keeping that secret because we knew, basically, Xander is proving to all of us why Sarah did what she did. Because she knew that man was going to go ballistic, and that man is going ballistic. And so now when it's Sarah's turn, I want her to look at him and go, this is why. You Neanderthal. You went back to how you were, and that's why I kept it from you. Yeah. Now what you go do something. Do something. Do something. Mr. Kyriakis.
Yeah.
It's just so disappointing.
Yeah.
It is. I was wishing and hoping and praying that he would be upset, but that him and Philip would just be like, all right, look, you messed up, but we got a business to run in honor of Victor. So let's pick up the pieces.
I mean, to Philip's credit, he has grown as a character so much in that he didn't try to lie his way out of this. He didn't try to, he explained his behavior, but he didn't excuse his actions necessarily. He just wanted to, Xander to understand that he had nothing but good intentions, and they, things went sideways. But he owned up to it. He didn't try to, and he feels genuine remorse. He feels remorse for lying to Xander about the will in the first place. He feels remorse about the way their relationship has gone. So I give Philip a lot of credit for his personal growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, speaking of all that, welcome back, Kevin Lambert.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him since when Days had an app and they brought back the Last Blast crew.
Oh,
Yeah.
about them.
That was
forgot
what, 2019?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
So welcome back him. I actually I was like, oh, it made it more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That was a good callback.
yeah, and I think it's interesting to also see because Salem is kind of like a small big town, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's nice to see like that crew still kind of being around and interacting with each other. I mean, granted, I still feel like they should have the more heavier storylines now.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Chloe should still be around. I feel like now Kevin is in the mix. Mimi should come back. Like Rex, like, you know. Anyway, well,
Rex can stay gone.
oh,
Rex was not a part of the Last Blast crew.
oh,
He
true.
wasn't part of the OG last.
Yeah.
No,
He kind of
but
created.
then
he sort of went to college, yeah.
Yeah, but he was older. It wasn't like he got in through his relationship with Chloe, but it was Chloe, Mimi, Sean, Belle, Philip, Kevin, Jan before she went psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho's and it's yeah, so I found it very bring back Celeste, darling. I found it very interesting to have him in the mix, but then I was like, damn. Like the second he walked in and said, oh, they're gonna realize, and so now I have to do this, I would have said, baby, let me just figure this out another night where I have enough time. Because like you ain't gonna have enough time to do that.
Yeah. Well, it was really Sean and Steve that messed it up because he was getting the doses out of each to cover it up, and then Sean and Steve sort of spooked him, so he just literally got out of his seat and ran to the door with all the doses.
Once again, Black Patch fucking things up.
I feel like he should have just like took what he had, like took the vial that he had, put the rest back up really quick, and then exit stage left.
Well, it wouldn't have been enough. It's funny. It's like they screwed up each other's plans.
Well, okay, it wouldn't have been enough. However,
yeah,
he could have easily went back and instead of like holding on to an entire case.
It just. Yeah, it's too many things between the security footage and the fact that Dr. Russell never leaves his lab. He was only gone because Kayla had, sent him off to that conference as a distraction. So it was just, it was a mess. It's just
a comedy of errors, as they say.
Yes. Okay, look, at this point, it's a comedy of errors. I don't even know how to fix it at this point because nobody's communicating with each other because Xander's going to admit that Philip stole the drug.
Well, Xander's going to have to admit the black eye and stuff that he's giving Philip.
It's a mess.
Maybe the beat up, maybe the beat down is just in Xander's head and we don't know it yet. Maybe they're going to do like a switcheroo on us next week and it's going to
hope so.
It's going to go back. It's going to go back to like something like we'll see Xander outside of Philip's room and he just imagined the beatdown.
Okay.
One can only hope.
I think Annette was asking. I think Sean did recognize Kevin's name at the end. I think that's why he was looking that way. Yeah.
Sean's a part of the Last Blast too.
Yeah.
I
think he was putting it together in his head like
he would have Yeah.
Like Kevin Lambert. I mean, listen, it was a recipe for amazingness, and then the fact that he got that little bag with all the Versexium in there is like crazy.
Versavax, Vix.
Yes, vitamin the Vegemin. He should have just put like some of it back and kept his little vial. And then every now and then just just anyway, we'll see how that all plays out. But
How
Dr.
that
Russell
mess becomes messier. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
right. Dr. Russell was not happy. He was like I feel like y'all didn't I can't make that reference, but he came in just like my lab has been broken into. Kayla's looking back at him like, duh.
He should have researched University Hospital before he set up shop there. Because he probably would have been like, oh, no.
Nope.
All these switch tests and shit. I'm not doing my research here.
Side note, did anyone else chuckle when Kayla was like, what do you mean you don't have the footage? This is a state-of-the-art hospital. I was like, girl.
that was the comedy for me, the switch of like, it was broken into. Oh, I hope you find the person. It was like, yeah, it was you.
It was you.
Well, it was half you.
It was half you.
Yeah. But when she was doing that, I was literally like, girl, do you know that people can slap on glasses and put their hair in a ponytail and walk through the hospital? You talking about this state-of-the-art technology, and you can't capture nobody because the people who are supposed to be dead, how they get up and walk out, and y'all don't know.
State of the art that's failing. Averaging money.
They couldn't even keep a TV show set on one of the floors under control.
Without someone getting hurt.
Like, girl.
I'm not gonna mention that though.
Mm-mm. So right now the top two suspects of that they think stole it is Xander and EJ.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Oh.
What?
Never mind. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
The thing about Xander leaving Sarah at the hospital and telling her to call Maggie to pick her up. I was like, can't you take her home on your way to beat down your brother? Like, just drop her off at home first. Like, that was
kind of funny.
And I guess that was the beginning of the, Xander's blind rage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, well, that's shit. But I guess Kayla has enough free time to drive her home, so all good.
Like,
I'm going out the hospital.
Multi-millionaires, like, what are you doing? Like, get a driver, or like she could call an Uber. Like,
well, that's what she was like. I'll take a ride share, and Kayla was like, "No, I'll drive you home." I'm like, Kayla, don't you got shit to worry about in the hospital?
Oh, ride share, girl.
I don't.
Call Waymo. They got Waymos in Salem yet? Probably not.
Give the multi-millionaire the ride home she needs. Yes.
You know what I love to see them doing in Salem? Riding one of those scooters.
Someone through the Horton Square. Just oh, it'll be like one of our favorite clips. That crazy woman one time in the pink jumpsuit was, she needs to make a cameo. Just riding through the town square and having people yell at her to get out the way.
My gosh. All right. That's pretty much it for that storyline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. And now we are narrowing the suspects of who done shot EJ.
I watched this earlier in the week, and now I'm like, okay, so I know Roman.
Okay. I did make a PowerPoint, but I'm not posting it until we have it updated, because let's talk about this, and then maybe next week I'll have it updated, because it seems to be narrowing.
Oh, this is a whole PowerPoint.
It is a PowerPoint. Yeah, but it's changing week to week. It's why because I was like, I'm not holding up a piece of paper for weeks on end.
No. And I was trying to oh, here we go. There we are.
Yes.
Rachel big, Rachel little.
Okay, so here's the thing. When looking at this, right? Okay, I feel like with this week's information, we found out that Roman went to the house, but found the gun stashed outside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to hold in my laughter because the part where he was like, I figured he was that help was on the way, so I figured he'd be okay.
He'll be all right.
I was like,
Bam!
not.
Yeah, Roman, yeah.
He is very much like, my name is Ben and I ain't in it. So okay, so again, I feel like this, right? I feel like we can take off and maybe Araceli, you can take notes so that you can update our Who Done Shot EJ diagram. Thank you for doing that. We here at Dishin Days are always upgrading ourselves. So I feel like we can take Roman off because I don't feel like Roman had anything to do with it, right? I also feel like we can take Johnny off, and that's because I'm sticking to what I was saying. And now adding to what Roman did, I feel like Johnny and EJ had a conversation and Johnny left. And when he left, he in a rage, he just threw the gun in the bush and then Roman came and got it.
But we suspect that, even if we strongly suspect that, we have not seen definitive proof on that, which is the only reason I would keep Johnny on.
No, because and we talked about this. The scene that they keep playing of when Johnny comes in does not match the scene where he was actually shot. And also to add to that,
how does it not match?
I'm
trying to remember.
So first, let me take you to what we saw last week, and then I'll take you back to the actual scene. All right. So this week, when the tray fell during the tea party, after the tea party, EJ started having a flashback as to hearing the sound of the gunshot and the crash of the glass. Now, cut to when we see Johnny come in with the gun, right? Remember, when Johnny comes in with the gun, EJ just discovered the camera that Rafe planted, right? So he gets that. He takes the memory card out. Before he takes the memory card out, there is the video of Johnny with the gun, right? But when the memory keeps playing, he turns around and he's like, what are you doing? What's missing from him is the glass that he was drinking from after the speech with Stefano. And technically he has or just put away the contraption things, right? And also going back now to the actual thing, he did that whole speech to Stefano. He sat down. When he turned around, the way that he said, what are you doing? What are you doing here?
It was different.
It was completely different than like it wasn't like like that tone wasn't for Johnny. It literally is for someone that he was not expecting to ever be there. Yeah. And especially being there like and I it almost feels like, and I'm going to be very happy if this is how it did go down. I almost feel like when he turned around, there wasn't a gun. I think it was like, what are you doing here? And they didn't say anything. And they raised the gun up and they shot him. And then the glass like broke. So I think for those reasons, we can take Johnny off because what we're seeing from Johnny isn't matching to the actual shot.
No, you're right. No, and I noticed those differences. And when he said, like, what are you doing? I was like, well, that's not how he said it originally. I'm like, is this sloppy continuity or is this a is this a like a try to fool us, you know, like, oh, that's what he said before he was shot, so this must be when he was shot. But you're right, there's all of those other factors like the glass. He was making a speech to Stefano. You're right. So no, I think Johnny went in with the gun, but I don't think he actually went through with it.
Before we circle back to this diagram, I have two continuity questions. The first is, since EJ took out the memory card before Johnny walked in.
Well, while he was walking in, because it's on on there.
Yeah. The memory, whatever's on the memory card would not have captured who shot him?
No, because he took it out
and put it in the
in the
Yes.
thing.
And
And
then
then
the
that's
next
when he
time-
turned around.
Yeah, and then the next time we see it is when he's got it and he's giving it to Rita.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Second continuity question in regards to the stuff that we learned this week. Roman gets to the house. He finds the gun thrown on the floor. He takes it home.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't get any information as to whether it has been fired or not.
I think so. In judging what he was talking with Kate about, like he had it cleaned, and Kate was like, "Baby, listen, I have been with the two most ruthless, lying, scheming men of Salem. Baby, you are not even an amateur. I can see right through you. The second you breathed the lie, I already detected it. So, but I think that Roman he's not sure, but I think he feels like he is sure in thinking that Johnny did shoot EJ, which is why he took the gun and had the gun like cleaned and stuff.
But the thing is that I think is the little piece of information that we haven't gotten from Roman, because he could have had the gun cleaned regardless of whether he checked it or not. And I feel like that's a piece that's missing, is that we didn't get confirmation from Roman on whether he checked the gun to see that it had been fired.
I don't think he did, and I don't think we'll get that, because I think that he went into protective mode of Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also think if he would use that as his reasoning, and he hasn't brought that up yet. I just think he assumes it's Johnny because he saw the gun outside.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. I don't think he's gotten any deeper into if the gun was fired, because if it wasn't, then he would know it wasn't Johnny. You know what I mean? Like, I think he hasn't gotten any forensic evidence to suggest that it was fired or not.
Yeah.
But he was a cop. He would know if it was been fired or not.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And maybe he knows. Maybe that's also why it's cleaned, and
Yeah,
maybe why he thinks that, you know.
Yeah, that's basically my question. Is that something that he knows based off of cleaning it himself, or is that something that he just kind of like went into, I don't know, some kind of mode and just ignored all reasoning?
I think he went into the mode.
I think they're ignoring that because it wouldn't make sense otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would. If he knew the gun was fired, he would know Johnny shot it, and then or he'd be wondering why the gun was fired if he didn't shoot it. Like, you have to kind of ignore that, otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Because I've said from the beginning that it's not just about this list of suspects. If they find the actual murder weapon, that eliminates as many people as it brings up new people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Finding the murder weapon is almost as important.
Yeah. So for those reasons, in the Who Done Shot EJ investigation, let's somewhat kind of put it to a vote / opinion. And you two in the chat room, you all can chime in too. Are we good to take off Roman and Johnny as possible suspects? I say yes.
Yeah, after this conversation, I say yes. Yes.
Justin?
I say yeah. That's Kate too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'm assuming we're all good on taking Kate off as well.
I will say
I take Kate off over Johnny.
Me too. Yeah, I was gonna take Kate off.
I mean, he was actually in the place with. Not that I think Johnny did it, but I think there's more evidence against Johnny.
I was like, can I just put a question mark next to Johnny?
It's not adding up. I think he was the first of many people to be there. I think the last person, the last person to arrive would be Roman. And that was after EJ was shot.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So also think of this timeline. We have Gabi, I think, who was probably the first.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Johnny. Then we have the person who shot EJ.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Chad.
Mm-hmm.
And then Roman. I think that's the order of
Okay,
the people who came to the DeMera mansion.
As far as we know, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Based on what they've shown, because I think Gabi was just outside,
Mhm.
and then I think moments later Johnny walked in, and then Johnny left, and then the actual shooter came in, and then Chad came in to find EJ inside and called the sick wagon, and then while the sick wagon was on their way, Roman was outside collecting the gun.
Well, if that's the case, we could take a few other people off there too. Then, if you know what I mean, if I believe you, I agree with you. I'd just say, so we could take Gabi off too. Is that what you're saying?
See, not yet, because because I feel like even though yes, we have that, that's like the only piece of evidence we have right now for Gabi was that she was standing outside and she had a gun. But we don't know, we haven't seen what transpired, right? Like, we don't know if she went in and she confronted EJ or, or if, like, she maybe saw Johnny or something. Like, we don't, as of right now, she's still there and not having left, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But I think for sure, Roman and Johnny can be. Is there a fire?
No.
I think for sure, or how many feet away is he?
No.
I think I think for sure we could take Roman and Johnny off.
And Kate. Really?
Wait, how do you think Kate's more implicated than Johnny?
No, well, okay, here's the thing. I'm saying those two because we were introduced to what happened with Roman.
Okay,
right?
All right.
We now know what happened with Johnny. We still don't know what happened with Kate because Kate was found with a gun too, right?
Yeah.
So it's only going to be when we have Kate's flashback or when we can definitively say, okay, she's off. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. I'm just saying right now, the two that we can definitively give the backstory to are Roman and Johnny.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anyone that I should add?
At this present time, no.
Yes, because I know that there are a lot of theories rolling around there, and there are a lot of people who are saying it's someone we haven't seen. Well, it's someone we haven't seen, so it's a big fat question mark.
Yeah. Unless you want to take Johnny and Roman off and then just put a bubble of someone we haven't seen.
Yeah, I just put a question mark. Yeah. So we will update this as the weeks go on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this will be updated.
I'm just gagging that we actually have a chart.
We had to because we can't. We don't have a consistent whiteboard. We're not going to be holding up paper. It messes with the lighting. It's just easier this way.
It is. All right. Well, since we did our own investigation, so we really talked about that. But this week also, Chanel and Paulina really are laying into Johnny about whether or not and Johnny is not letting up. He's just like, yeah, I wish he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
But
all right, I'm gonna pack my bags.
bags.
I'm just gonna pack up and move back in. But yeah, I wish he was dead.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I did it.
Yeah. There are a lot of people who feel that way.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he's also keeping the fact that he was there that night and had a gun. And I mean, not that I could see him maybe not Paulina, but it's like, oh, you're not telling Chanel the truth either.
Yeah. See, that one's the big hiccup for me. Both in terms of the investigation and also in the state of his marriage, because he told Paulina in no uncertain terms that he was stepping up, and she told him in no uncertain terms, this is it. You're on your last leg with me. Not that I can tell my daughter what to do with her marriage, but in terms of me being your advocate, in terms of me, telling my daughter to give you another chance, this is it.
Mm-hmm. Which, you know what? I support that 1,000%.
Yes,
Yeah.
because she's not saying that she's gonna like run her daughter's life, but she's saying it's like, look, this is still my child, and there's only so many times I can watch my child be hurt and be understanding.
And Paulina, to her credit, whenever there's been a hiccup between Johnny and Chanel is like venting to her about it, she usually somewhat comes to Johnny's defense and like, like maybe see his side of it, and I don't want to use the word defends him, but almost gives him a benefit of the doubt in the situation. Maybe not to his face, maybe to his face, she's been kind of, you hurt my daughter, blah, 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 like the defensive mama bear. But so yeah, I feel like he should heed that advice from Paulina, because she's actually been an advocate for him several times to her daughter, his wife.
Yeah.
So him choosing not to tell Chanel that he was there that night pretty much flies in the face of everything he promised them both this week. So yeah, he desperately needs to start
there. When it eventually comes up, it's going to be a thing. Something's going to happen. He's going to have to admit it. And then it's going to be, why didn't you tell me that? Why are you hiding that? It's just going to be another, Johnny, make better decisions.
He needs to be in therapy, or he also needs to take the advice that you can find exclusively on TSS, exclusively on our members channel.
Comma, but how you just gonna can't have nothing. Everybody always take my little bits. I can't have nothing to myself. That has just tickled you so.
I totally agree. The dialogue with Paulina, I feel like she's been benefiting the most from these new writers.
Yes.
The stuff they're giving her is like, you're getting Jack A's acting and inflection and stuff, but it's not over the top. It's not screaming. She's actually like incredibly reasonable. It makes a lot of sense, and I just think the writing for her has been like top notch.
Yeah,
she looks good in pink.
She
looks really good in pink. Like she came tipping around the corner. I said, "All right, Miss Jack A, with this pink dress on and the hair and the make." Okay, I said, "Work, girl."
Yeah. She also was way ahead of it. I don't know why. It didn't even occur to me that Xander might sue Chanel. I think I was just so into all the other storylines that completely blew past me. That I'm like, oh my god, that's so smart. She was just on
damage control. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a tidbit later.
It's a what?
It's a tidbit later.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, but yeah, just. Yeah, so but yeah, the Paulina is on it this week, but Johnny needs serious counseling.
But he said he got a name, right? He said he got a therapist name from
Yeah, so now he needs to actually go and put in the work.
Well, he's sometime when he's not working at Demira, Titan, whatever, because he's accepting that job.
He is.
Yeah.
Everybody's coming to work at Titan. Look, not that again, this is what we wanted. We wanted, take us back to the corporate. Don't make it, CEO against CEO. Bring everybody into the fold. But now it's like, oh, everybody's coming home.
I need a job.
Everybody needs a job.
Speaking of jobs, it's the job of the Mama Bears, Miss Susan and Marlena, to protect their kids. And I love that scene that they had in the Horton Town Square, because as soon as Susan was going off at the mouth and da-da-da-da, and Marlena just kept looking like, girl, if only you knew.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, that was Susan's a lot. But can we get to the birthday party?
What about the birthday party?
that it was a hot mess.
It was a hot mess because it was 3 grown folks having a birthday tea party with.
Look, I'm just saying. I know. Like I've thrown some tea parties in my day, and none of my tea parties were that depressing.
Well, bless your heart.
Okay.
That was depressing.
I did the shots of Brady and EJ next to each other in the hats.
Yeah.
Those were cute. Those made me giggle a little bit. Just seeing them like sit there and
play along.
Yeah, play along. Yeah.
Now, do you think they said Rachel ain't got no friends because they were like, not Tate's party for Sophia was better.
It was
until he got sick. Do y'all think that they like the show was just like, okay, listen, we can't hire all these kids just for this one scene, so we just gonna say nobody likes Rachel?
Oh no, they added to it. They had a whole conversations about why nobody would like Rachel, and it all made sense.
But it was just a few weeks ago that that her one friend that she got left with at the fundraiser, she was her friend.
Well, Brady
where's she at?
Remember when he was like, well, "What about Sarah Jane?" And she was like, "Yeah, even she's out." I was like, "Okay, at least." I was like, "Okay, nice continuity there with bringing her."
But what happened within the past few weeks? Did they get into an argument?
They probably no. That probably
Rachel
was just
probably bossed her around.
Yeah, it was just that friend. I'm gonna tell you what happened.
That friend
was,
on her.
Yeah, so that friend.
I was like, maybe she slapped her across the face or something.
That friend was on her last leg, probably, and when push came to shove, she told her mom, "I don't want to go. I don't want to be friends with her anymore."
I feel like Rachel reminds me of this meme or this video that's been going around of like this girl, like not yelling, but like talking to like this one guy, and her mom like records it. Like the guy like bent down, and she was just kind of like, "Get up, get up, get up," and then he does like that, and she goes, "Now my mom is gonna see me fussing at you. My mom is here." And like she mouths it, but everyone like wrote what she said, and it was so funny. I think that's Rachel. Rachel's just kind of like the HBIC in her classes, and everybody's like, we don't want to hang with her. She's bossy.
She just like, ugh. And I can. The thing is, I can see it. I don't need them to hire 10 child actors to see it. I can see very clearly Rachel at school, just the way that she must act around the other kids, and I can totally see. I can see the scene in my head.
Someone being like, "Oh, cool! I got a burrito for breakfast," and she being walking by them and being like, "Not anymore." I'm just taking it.
And that's the thing. But that's the thing about like her. She doesn't have to be an actual bully, necessarily. She just has to be her.
Yeah.
Pompous and arrogant and entitled and exactly like her mother. Thinking she can get away with anything because she has.
She has. I mean, she clearly, we saw the deviousness working in that conversation. She clearly got them off of the murder and EJ talking about being shot very quickly.
Yes.
And then the nightmare she had that conveniently when they were talking about it in the other room, like, I was like, girl, go ahead, Rachel. I see you.
Thomas and Charlotte weren't available to come over?
Yeah, that was a little glaring. I thought they should have thrown something in about them.
Like Charlotte would have been there.
Yeah. That was the one.
But I don't know if Rachel, I don't know if Rachel's as bad as I think she is. I mean, I don't know if Chad would do this, but I don't think Chad would purposely keep his kids away from their cousin, but he might, if they already had plans for the night, not cancel them.
Rachel also seemed like an old woman when she was like, "Can I just go to bed?" Like I just picture it being like 8:00 at night, and she's like, "Ooh, Chad."
There's nothing wrong with going to bed at 8:00 at night.
TSS.
Anyway, yeah, and then she had the nightmare because the stuff fell and all that because EJ was like, well, they haven't found who shot me. She's like, child, people just coming up in here and just shoot people. And well, she said, I got to go. It's too much. It's too much.
So I think this week, though, didn't definitively prove what many of us believe, that Rachel is the one who shot EJ. But I think we can now lean heavily towards the fact that she is in some way involved.
Who?
Whether
more towards Rachel, yeah.
I think she either shot him or she witnessed it. I think it's one or the other. I think at this point, and the importance of the recast to begin with, I think there's no way that little Rachel is not somehow, we don't get a scene soon of her the night of EJ shooting.
So, well, that's why she's still on the suspect list.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
that was it for this.
What'd you say? What?
The private chat. What?
Oh.
Are you so not into this? Like you're in our private. By the way, okay. So what you all don't see is on the corner. There's like private chat where we can, if something's happening that we need to be aware of, we can put it in the private chat.
That's not the breaking news that I saw today, but
yeah, I saw the other. Yeah. So
yeah,
I saw the private chat come up, and I'm like, oh, is something going on? And it's Tony saying Steve Burton got married.
I was saying that so that it could be added to news and gossip later because it just came out. So,
maybe add that in later.
Huh? What?
But then you add a comma and say
for news and gossip, Steve Burton got married.
Well, I
thought you were just.
What if I
was scrolling the internet and just saw it? It was like, say Steve Burton got married.
Ooh, that's funny.
What if I wasn't finished typing? Because it just came up.
Yeah, that was literally 1 minute ago. Maybe you weren't done typing.
Yes, Debbie, he is very much still on GH.
Anyways, that just made me laugh.
Well, if somebody finds a photo of it, because people did an exclusive, feel free to add it to news and gossip. We'll talk about it later.
Oh, Lord.
I thought you were just like, oh, hey, but guess what? Anyways,
this is the prop. I'm gonna turn into only. This is the problem with technology nowadays. There's just so many. There's too many buttons and there's too many tabs, and everybody gets distracted, and no one finishes a sentence.
It's like breaking news.
Yeah, but it's not breaking news that I would necessarily interrupt the show for. Not unless somebody died.
I didn't. Michael Madden did.
I know. I blame.
I was having a private conversation in the private chat. That's now public.
It tickled me because I thought Tony was just trying to have a side conversation with us. Like, okay,
I was about updated information.
Look, this is a show, people. We have to stay on topic.
We're live because somebody, along with the Google Podcast information, somebody would have been like, well, they ain't talk about Steve Burton. He got married. And we'd be like, well, we didn't know because we was doing the show. And so now that I saw, I was like, hey, well, now we ain't got to talk about it because Steve Burton got married. Congratulations. More news and gossip later. For photos, go to people.com.
And we will try to stay on day where Days is this year because he ain't been on in like 2 years.
And so he's still a vet. We talk about people who had 2 lines.
Not during the
oh Lord.
the news and gossip, not here. Can we get back to the show, please? Look, if we want to talk about General Hospital, I would love to talk about General Hospital. I'll talk about General Hospital till the cows come home, but this is not that show. This is Dishin Days.
What are you on today?
I don't know. This is the one day I don't have alcohol in me.
That might be the problem.
Can you believe it?
You know, like I brought up someone just on GH to be like, oh, he got married. Like he has no affiliation with Days. But if we want to talk about GH, we can talk about GH because we can talk about GH all day now. But we're not talking about GH because this is Days.
So now you guys have to decide: do you want tipsy Araceli, or do you want nice, sober, has 9 hours of sleep in her Araceli?
I don't know. All of it's debatable.
It's a mixed bag over here.
All of it's debatable. Michael Madison is trying to hold on to his laughter, and Justin is looking at us like, "Can we please go?" Because I'm trying to like go somewhere else.
Yes, thank you, Jack. Where were we? We were on to a new topic.
Were we?
Yes, we were.
We should have been.
Well, fine. Our last top storyline: mysterious homecomings. John and Ari. Oh, well. Okay, one is a homecoming.
Yes.
Another one might be a homegoing.
That's why it's mysterious. Yeah.
Yes. Neither one of which has happened yet. We are laying the groundwork for next week.
With Ari, we had a phone call saying she wanted to come home.
Mm-hmm.
And with John, we had a phone call from Shane saying they found his location.
No, they found him.
They found him.
Well, they found the location first, and then the second call was they found him.
They found him. And then Susan had to cock up the moment being like, I just felt a chill over my grave. Like, Susan, just let Marlena have it for a minute.
You know, when the spirit world contacts her, she in general has no filter, but she really just lets it out.
I do feel like Deidre gave a look as Marlena to her being like, bitch, shut up, when she did that. Because she was
Deidre was awesome in that scene.
Yeah.
The second phone call scene with Susan. She was really great in that.
Deidre was awesome this whole week. I felt like every conversation she had, you felt all of her emotions, everything that she was just it was like you could feel the tension in her body, just trying to keep everything in. And even when the scene before that, the very top of the scene Friday, where it was her and EJ and Susan, and you could just, it was like Devil, but without the devil. She was like, please stop talking.
Yeah, her facial expressions were really good this week. And the emotional phone call she had. Like, I felt that. Yeah. I felt it. I was like, all right. But I'm also kind of like, y'all really are, y'all gonna make sure we feel something. Y'all dragging this whole John thing out. Like, they're zeroing in on them, and I'm like, they ain't found him yet.
Yeah, but I'm also kind of, I guess, scared a little bit that it seems like we're not going to be dragging this out that much longer. Like,
we don't need to.
Maybe but like, we've been talking about this for months, ever since Drake passed.
Right.
And I feel the same way that I did when the time finally came to say goodbye to Doug after Bill passed, that we talk about it. We know it's coming. This isn't, a shock for us audience members, but when it finally comes, it's just like, I don't know, letting out air that we've been holding in.
But with Doug, while he was off screen, it was still just like he was living in Salem, right? Like, oh, Doug is just up like napping, or Doug is at the house, or whatever, right? And then one day she went upstairs and it was like, Doug, and then that's it, right? With this, it's like John went on a mission. John's missing. They thought they went to go find John. They thought they found John, but it was somebody else. Now, Andrew and Paul are looking for John. Oh, they're getting close to finding him. Oh, they're zero in on it. And so it's like, and I think for us, like we're bracing ourselves because we know, but it's also like on there, it's like it feels like this stretch of like inevitably, like like it's gonna hit us. Well, I mean, I guess maybe it's the same. John is, doing John and his mission, and even though we know, maybe
it's just real life.
It's still the same, but it's just it's the same but different.
Yeah,
I'm curious about this, where they're going with this. I don't know if are they wrapping it up soon, because I feel like to have the dialogue. This is what threw me off when the phone call was, "We found John. He's okay. He's a little bit shaken up, but he's fine." That's different than, "We still haven't found John, and that's the mystery." So I'm wondering where they're going with this now. Do you know what I mean? Like, why introduce the fact that you found him and he's okay, as opposed to, "We didn't find him," or "He found a dead body," you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm like, is it over? Like, we actually don't really know, do we?
No.
When this concludes, so I don't. We may have another storyline on top of this about.
We can only try to guess when, based on when we know Drake passed away. But I guess that would be the only way we could guess when it's gonna finally happen.
Yeah.
But even then, like,
we don't know. Is this a summer thing? Is this a November street? Like, I don't know. It's like,
I think it's now. I think next week we'll know.
You think
next week? I think next week, following week at the latest, I think we'll know. And that's why I think I feel the way I feel, that with saying goodbye to Doug after Bill's passing felt like peace a little bit. Like, okay, we can now is the time we can really say goodbye. This feels more like the air is being sucked out of the room.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's because every time I see Martha, I feel that way. I felt that way when we were on the carpet at Day of Days, where it felt like everybody who knew Drake was holding their breath in a little bit, just to kind of get through things. And I feel that was when they were filming all of this. So I don't know if I'm feeling a little bit of residuals from that a little bit. Yeah. So we will as we watch this unfold in the next few weeks together, I may be going live to cry with all you all. Yeah, because it'll be a journey.
It's the journey.
It'll be a journey. Yeah. I think that's it for this one.
Okay.
Is that it?
Me and my songs. Only Justin got it though. That's why we're chuckling. Oh, we didn't talk about Susan is for EJ and Belle. Marlena is not. I think we're on the fence, but I think also after Belle went to Kayla to speak on EJ's behalf, I think she had a moment of like, girl, here he is again, just not telling me the whole truth. It's like, I want Belle to be like, listen, let me tell you something, EJ. It's good, but it ain't that good, baby. You're not about to put me through the ringer.
We'll see. We'll see how much she lets it affect her.
Also, too, I know this is last topic, but during the party when she was supposed to stay, and then they started talking about big Rachel kidnapped, and she just was like, "I need to get out of here because I'm the DA," and I was like, "Girl, you're dating like."
Yeah, we're like,
totally okay with the fact that your new boyfriend,
yeah,
kidnapped someone. Like, you're completely. I don't know, that part. It sort of like got me a little bit. I was like, girl, like, I understand the like, let me get out of here because I'm the DA, so I don't want to hear anything. but also you're very comfortable with this idea, kind of knowing that he took Rachel and is basically just like holding her someplace, and like you're okay with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is that I think Brady, not so secretly, I was going to say secretly, not so secretly, is kind of happy that Big Rachel is gone. So he won't outright say to EJ, thank you, but
he doesn't care. Yeah.
But in his mind, he's like, yeah, I'm okay if she stays gone.
Yeah, like no skin off my back.
Bill is slowly becoming undigmatized.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't have confidence that this is enough for her to be like, no, never mind, and reverse course. He's done so much more that she's just given him a pass. And like Justin just said, when they started talking about the possibility he kidnapped someone, she was like, well, I don't need to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I'm going to leave.
Well, he did say hypothetically, though. Like, he wasn't confessing. He was saying hypothetically.
Yeah. Not confessing, but still, she seemed to be like...
She wasn't worried about it at all. Like, did you really...
Like, he wants to be Erica Jane, not knowing where the money's coming from.
Yeah. Yep. Like, if I don't see it, it doesn't exist. Yeah.
Yeah. See nothing, hear nothing, and just get my dick and be happy.
And on that note, the Mysterious Homecoming segment is done. Before we move on to tidbits, everybody, if you would like to make sure you follow us on all social media. Oh, well, this is just a reminder. Follow us on social media platforms. Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already. And don't forget to join us exclusively on an exclusive members-only page where you get a first-hand look at some days-related content and virtual events. Also, if you want to take us along with you wherever you go, if you're not plopping down on your TV or in front of a laptop or iPad or phone, you can hear us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. No longer Google Podcasts, in case you were searching. And make sure you show some love to J&J Media, Mr. James Lott Jr., former co-host and my chocolate twin. Check out all of his stuff on YouTube and where podcasts can be found. Moving on over to our tidbits, we have Alex's date night, which I'm still trying to figure out why Gabi was trying to be so like uppity about it.
Yeah,
because it's $15,000 date.
Did nobody tell her to do that?
I know. Like,
yeah, but...
it was very I feel like it was in character for Gabi to be that way, but she knew, like, she didn't have to do that. She did it to make JJ jealous, and it apparently did not work. And yeah, so the expectation that she was gonna go to like a Michelin star, whatever the fuck, instead of like to the bistro, like that was very in character for Gabi. But yeah, no.
Did she think that she was gonna fly to Chicago and go to a 5-star restaurant with with Alex?
I mean, I think that would have been fine. Look, she didn't have an expectation of anything overtly romantic going on. Okay, she knows he's with Stephanie. She was doing it to make JJ jealous. But yes, maybe he could have sprung for a little bit of a bigger dinner than the bistro.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
He's a millionaire. He can afford it. She spent $15,000 on him. Yes, he could have done something.
But the thing is, he knew it wasn't real. Like, it wasn't.
It didn't need to be real. If you look at it this way, if you spend $15,000, say on a plate at a charity dinner, your expectation at the very least is going to be that it's going to be in a big ballroom with a lot of people, with a gourmet chef and things like that, not at your local bistro.
I was fine with it when they were on the date. Like the stuff with Gabi before, I didn't make sense, but I think the date was fine. I think for me, I'm so conditioned whenever I see two people who don't share scenes together, I immediately think, what's going on? What's the plot? Like, are they setting up for something? But I think with these new writers, I don't know if they're setting up for anything with those two, or if they're just putting them together to further a plot. You know what I mean? Like, were they just accessories to the Philip and Kevin stuff? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know if there is something brewing that they're setting something up in the future for these two, or if they're going to make them friends, or if they were just using them to move forward plot. I don't know yet, but
it'd be interesting if they made them. It'd be interesting if they did develop just like a platonic working, like a platonic / working relationship between the two, and
and then again, in the who's related to who mayhem of the week, we are reminded, oh, he's actually kind of her kid's uncle.
Yeah.
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 Because of what's his face?
Because of Sonny.
Yeah.
Yep, Sonny.
Yeah. So even though he has no relationship with Ari, but he talks to his brother. He keeps up with they've been raising Ari for years.
Actually, he may have a relationship. Remember they were in Phoenix. They were all in Phoenix together before he moved here. So he very well may have a relationship with Ari.
Well, with Ari now coming to town, I guess we'll find out. Now, what are the chances that Ari did not tell her dads that she's coming to see her mom?
Oh, there's something going on there.
Because in the phone call that she had, she asked her mom for the money to come to Salem, saying that she wanted to come home to Salem to spend her birthday with her mom. And Gabi said, well, why don't you ask your dads? I'm sure they would be fine with it. And she said, no, but I want to come with you. She kind of like put it off. And then later at the dinner, Alex said, yeah, Sonny, I just talked to Sonny. He didn't mention anything about them all coming to Salem for Ari's birthday. And then Gabi said, no, she's coming on her own. So now methinks little Ari is not so little anymore, and she's doing some shenanigans behind her dad's back, and that's why she's coming home to mama.
Yeah, could be.
I don't know enough about Ari to make that assumption yet.
But we know enough about Gabi. I'm just saying, like mother, like daughter.
Yeah.
99% of the time tends to be very true.
All right. I hope they go ahead and print One Stormy Night. And I kind of wish that it was also available for us as well. Start the Dishin Days book club One Stormy Night.
See, now that I would do.
Moving on to the next tidbit. Game recognized game. And I can do the same thing. Get it right, chair. Take back this ring. What you gonna do when it... Okay. Paulina and Xander.
Love the scene.
Yes.
Beautiful gowns.
Kind of already talked about a lot of it.
Any last minute thoughts?
I like the bargaining of it.
Yes.
I like I feel like it was a cute seeing them two, but it also like established Abe's on the board. He wwants Theo back in town. I don't know if that means anything right now, but
that's right. They were talking about Theo.
Yeah. There was a lot of Theo talk. Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. It wasn't a scene we needed necessarily, but I felt like it was a nice scene to get some exposition out, and maybe like I said, we don't know what the writers are cooking, but we don't know if that's a hint at something in the future or not. But it was a nice sort of sometimes reminder and like little history thing too.
It's like a little twinge of like, Paulina Price Town. Business talking business.
Yeah. I mean, technically, as long as Demera, the company, flourishes, I don't see why Abe would have a problem voting with Xander. because
I hope they all vote for Xander.
Mhm.
yeah.
But they probably won't now after he beats up Philip.
I-
All right. Well, someone else who's doing what we're doing and making the rounds is Kat.
I know she was all over this week.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh my God. If they have a conversation about
Listen, she's gotten farther with EJ and Xander this week than she has with Chad over the
What
past
Mhm.
couple months. So
I just wanted to ask you, like, why me?
Mhm.
I mean, I'm glad that they had those scenes together because everything he said makes sense. And I'm really, really glad for the scene that she had with Xander where she held him accountable for his actions
mhm.
and said, yeah, you're not apologizing to me doesn't cut it. Thank you. So it's great that they seem to be interweaving her more with other people.
Mhm.
But yeah, she was a little all over the place this week.
And she got that phone call.
Yeah,
Who's
they're
on
starting
the
something.
phone?
You're
Oh
starting,
my
yes.
God.
Starting
I'm like-
something.
It's giving. It's like it's giving the beginning of how we were introduced to her.
Well, hopefully we won't get 6 weeks of mysterious phone calls to Kat. I trust the new writers. Maybe they'll move this along a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does it get Me World's Kat and Chad's first date? Dude,
What?
Me World's comment.
By 2027 with the way they're going. Jesus.
Chad will be gone. He'll be living on a different. He'll be
He'll be living in Genoa City, Wisconsin. Is where he will be.
It hurts my heart so much.
Oh,
Ugh.
God.
All right. And now our last tidbit. A little happy birthday, Sophia. It was really cute when Marlena was like,
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, Marlena was very into that little party.
Yeah. Oh,
He
except
really-
when she escorted Sophia out. That was a bit awkward.
Yeah.
but also like Tate went all out. Like, did I miss when they were like, I don't know.
Well, I think because they were supposed to go to prom and then that got derailed. So it was like,
Oh, because she's supposed to be.
She was supposed to be on bed rest, but she's up walking around town.
She's
What?
on
Michael Madden, this is the
limited
part where
bed
Araceli is going to tell us about women.
yes. Bed rest is not the same thing as limited bed rest. Listen to what Sarah said. She said that she can get up and go from chair to chair.
She did not get up and go from chair to chair. She got up and went across town.
She cannot do strenuous activity.
Walking across town is not considered strenuous activity.
Maybe she was
No,
on the
because
scooter.
she drove.
I don't think Sarah meant chair in one house, chair in a house across town.
She can't do strenuous activity. It's not the same thing.
Okay.
It's not the same thing. In any case, I feel so
It's
sorry
fine.
for this girl. I feel so bad for this girl.
Why?
Because it's like, you expect a high school pregnancy is definitely going to derail things, but also just a lot of other things are coming up that are kind of derailing her life, where she just kind of also, in addition to making that poor choice, she just seems to have the worst luck.
Oh, not that poor choice.
Where she doesn't seem to have a friend in the world.
She does. She has Tate.
Except for
And her-
Tate. And
her
Tate
mama.
and Tate's always 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Her mother is as much her adversary as she is her advocate. And even that, once she turns 18, now she's literally on the verge of just turning fully away from her mom, which is basically what she's going to have to do in order to in order to go through with this adoption. It's going to be it's not going to be easy. It's going to be contentious. So yeah, I feel so sorry for her. Like that's the most that's a really depressing birthday. And that was not the worst birthday of the week.
Who's the worst birthday?
Rachel.
I mean, she had a tea party.
Yes, attended by 3 grown adults, one of whom went out of his
Scared the
way,
bejesus out of her.
yeah, to remind her that there was a potential murderer running around.
Ping ping.
You know, at least at least Tate made Sophia a meal and a cake.
Speaking of, Marlena was like, "You cooked all that?"
No, right. I really thought he was going to say like I got it from the bistro or something, or I'm warming it up or something.
Or maybe he wouldn't have gotten sick.
Yeah.
What was with that? Like, what?
know.
I didn't understand the point of the sick part when.
Point of him getting, I didn't.
Sophia,
I can't say I understood that either.
Sophia was sitting there like, "I'm all right, girl.
Yeah, like I'm fine. We're having
it ain't your cooking."
Unless it's leading to a story where like Tate thinks he's sick, but he's actually like, sick.
Yeah.
But I don't see why they would do that.
Yeah, like it. I don't know.
Unless it was just to make Sophia's birthday all that more depressing.
Lord.
Yeah.
See, I think during that conversation, I was like, "Oh, she's keeping this baby." I was like, she's really skirting the telling the mom. I think she's switching. I think she's skirting.
I don't think that's what she wants. I think it's more. I think if anything, it's the opposite, that she wants a chance at her own life. I think what why I feel so bad for her is that she's not fighting. Like, she's not saying, "Oh, it's my birthday, this shouldn't be happening." She's not throwing a tantrum. She's not saying, "This isn't what should be happening right now." It's like I feel like if she were throwing a tantrum, maybe I would be like, "Well, your choices got you here." But she seems to be almost overly accepting now. She's sitting in her grief that this is her life now.
Yeah, I got more of acceptance that I'm gonna keep this baby, or I'm considering keeping this baby. That's what I got from it.
Well, be like Madonna, keeping your baby. All right, Holly and Doug talk to each other. They're not going to prom. Doug works at the Brady Pub. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right,
that was
what?
That was necessary.
What, for him to work?
Yes.
At the pub?
Yes.
Okay.
Roman to the rescue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone, that was your week of days. And we're now heading over to our favorite part of the show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tonti's official 3 Snaps Award. All right. My 3 Snaps Award, one, I don't have a photo for it or a video, but I feel like the 3 Snaps is more of a thank you to Philip for looking at Kevin at the bistro, and while he gave him the scenario of like stealing the drug, he said, we're not even gonna have a discussion because you're just gonna say yes, so cheers. And I was like, thank you. You have saved us 2 or 3 scenes from y'all going back and forth about whether or not you should steal this drug and how.
Back and forth.
So, back and forth. So John Paul and Chadwick, who plays Kevin, thank you for saving us. You get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. And now it's time for
Caption that.
All right. Much to Araceli's chagrin, I did not select an image from the tea party of
wow.
Or the tea party of whatever.
Wow.
I just didn't.
Wow.
I did choose this photo of Susan and Marlena having an awkward breakfast, and this week's caption goes to Vanessa Avila with her caption. I assume Susan is saying, "Is this chicken what I have, or is this fish? I know it's tuna, but it says chicken by the sea."
Oh,
A little nod to Miss Jessica Simpson.
She'll never live that down.
Never.
It's been 25 years or something like that. She'll never live it down.
I'm sorry. That was that.
Is this chicken or is this fish?
That show,
No, it's tuna.
because
It
of
says
her,
chicken by the sea.
was so good.
Mhm.
It's right there. There are two shows about couples that I will watch again. Jessica and Nick Lachey
Mhm.
and Whitney and Bobby.
B and Bobby Brown.
You just listed like two of the worst marriages of all time.
But what was documented
Fantastic TV.
was amazing TV.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Of,
And I
like,
think
the
I was-
worst marriages of
I
all
think I was still in awe that Whitney Houston even did it.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Snippy. But like, we saw a world that only Bobby and Whitney knew, understood, and lived in, and we were simply just voyeurs.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it.
Mhm.
And seeing how Jessica Simpson was herself and how Nick Lachey responded to that,
Like,
loved it.
he didn't really respond. I don't remember him having a response. He was like,
It was always just a look.
it was always kind of like he would look down, just be like,
Like, Lord have mercy.
"Lord have mercy."
Mm.
Anyway,
Bless
that
her.
was
Caption that.
and now it's time for
Those were the days.
All right, everyone, taking you back to May 12th, 2014, when Nick Fallon was murdered. So, of course, it was when he stumbled to the Horton Town Square and died in Julie's arms by way of Gabi, of course. And I take a little bit of a deep dive with this one in the evolution of Nick's character over the years, from coming on to this sort of, or coming on as this sort of smart, sort of awkward nerd into what he became here before he was shot, is a very, very drastic turn in the evolution of Mr. Nick Fallon. So yeah, check that out if you are a member on our page. And that was, May 12th, 2014, when Nick Fallon was murdered.
and that was
Those were the days.
and now it's time for
It's a gift.
And this week's It's a GIF goes to the fabulous facial expressions of Mr. John Paul Lavoisier and what I can describe as the look a child gives me when I ask, "Have you been eating my chips?" Yes. Yes, they have been eating my chips.
Oh, that's the look Michael Mattis gives you when you ask Michael Mattis if he's been eating your chips. Actually, I'd probably still be eating them and be like, "Yeah."
Hey, I was gonna say that's the look. I would actually give that look more so to Justin, because he'd be like, at least there's a little bit of like, I did and I'm sorry. Whereas Michael Mattis would still be eating the chips in front of you and being like, "And bitch, what?"
I'll buy you a new bag later. Just whatever.
Yeah. And that was,
It's a gift.
and now it's time for news and gossip.
All right, starting off, we want to wish our very dear friend, Miss Kennedy Garcia, a very, very happy 21st birthday this past weekend. Please go check out her Instagram. She enjoyed a very birthday-filled weekend in Vegas, where she sort of gave us a little bit of a preview of when we were talking with her last time at the
she was
Pan Walk.
so
She's
excited.
very, very excited about this weekend and very interested to what Vegas will bring. So, so yeah, very, very happy.
Yeah, she was talking about she was very excited about seeing Katy Perry.
Yes,
and
yep.
you have to
So
go see her. Yeah.
And about going to clubs and bars and being legal now and all of that. So yeah, big happy birthday.
Tear it up, Kennedy.
So, Kennedy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can check out all her pics and her adventures at Kennedy Jean 04 on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then next up are some more favorites. Share their best advice of what they received from their mother/mother figures at the Day Studio. Check out what Susan, Lamone, Paul, Emily, Sherry had to say, or what advice their mom or mother figures gave them. Some of these were I like that it was a mix. Some of them were very heartfelt and cute and fun. And Susan's about not marrying an actor, which, yeah.
That was funny. That was a
it.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some
Yeah, so go check
advice
it out.
you don't listen to.
Mhm. Yeah, go check that out at Days Peacock on Instagram.
Mhm. All right. Next up, in a couple weeks, we have an event coming up here in LA. It's going to be daytime at night. This will be a benefit for St. Jude.
A what?
Huh? A
A
benefit.
what? It sounded like you said this will be a benefit.
This will be, I'm sorry, I need to enunciate. This will be a benefit for St. Jude Children's Hospital. So you can catch some of your favorite daytime stars for an evening of music, connection, and giving back. This will be May 29th at 7 p.m. here in LA at the Troubadour. So far confirmed, we have from Days, our very own Sherry Jimenez and Kennedy Garcia. We will update you as we get more information on who is going. Right now, purported to be performances by actors from all the soaps. So Days, GHYNR, B&B, and Beyond the Gates. For tickets and information, go to at the Troubadour's social media.
Yeah.
Is anyone planning on going?
I think so.
I won't be in town, so I can't go.
Yeah, most likely.
It's a Thursday.
If I was going to be here, I'd go.
It's
right down the street
for
from me.
Araceli, it's a day. Like
It's a Thursday.
she ain't never available for nothing.
Like it's like you.
He's never been for
Thursday, I'm dying.
And then
I
when
will
we
be
go,
dying.
she's gonna be texting us. Oh, I'm just here luxuriating with a glass of wine and my pajamas.
I
How's
might
it
be
going
asleep.
there?
I might be asleep. Genuinely.
Oh, there's that too. Moving on.
Next up, we have Let's Celebrate Pride Month with Christopher Sean and Colton Little. They're doing a Q&A meet and greet with Spectrum Celebrity Events on Monday, June 16th, hosted by our very own Mr. Tony Moore. Tickets and information, you go to spectrumcelebrityevents.com. It'll be a fun one.
Yay. I love these two. And then we have
The day players.
remaining dates. We have some remaining dates left in the Day Players 2025 tour. So the first two on that list that you see have already happened.
Or happening now.
Are happening now.
It already didn't happen.
Yeah, it already happened. Yeah. So then you have three more chances as of now to see these guys in the next year, at least until we get any updated
Glendale.
We said that too. Look, we said that. Yes. Okay. Upcoming will be in San Diego, California, June 28th at the Yellow Door. Then August 1st, again in Glendale, California. Sorry, East Coasters. If you were trying to get them, you'll have to come over here. And then in September, they will be in Toronto. They'll be in Canada for a big show there. As always, go to thedayplayersband.com for tickets and information.
And next up, we have our Star Image events. We have our cocktail Q&As, the first one with Brandon Barash and Eric Martzoff on Wednesday, May 21st. And then we have one with Paul Telford and Lindsay Godfrey on Wednesday, May 28th this month. Then, of course, we have our summer concert and dance party happening the weekend of June 20th to 21st, that one in Montreal, Canada. We just mentioned the Day Players. That Toronto show they're actually teaming up with Star Image, so you can also get tickets and information through them. And then, of course, we have our Days of Our Lives in Nashville event. That one happening the weekend of October 4th to 5th in Nashville. And all tickets and information, you go to eventbrite.com/Star Image Entertainment.
Mhm. And then we have Samantha and Friends, their Haunted Mansion event, which will be the weekend of September 13th and 14th. For tickets and information, go to samanthasfriends.org.
And last but not least, we have our Jazz and Heroes. This one is a charity fundraiser to benefit Veterans Health Network. This is the one with Greg Vaughn, and there are 2 events that day, on Saturday, September 6th, an earlier one and then a later one if you can make it. Tickets and info, go to soapthis.ticketleap.com.
That's a lot.
Mhm.
And that was.
And a last minute congratulations to Seabird.
Ah. Beep, 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 beep. Breaking news. Steve Byrne got married.
News and gossip.
All right, y'all. Let's take a look at what's coming up this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives.
Next week on Days, life and death struggles
Nothing you say can save you.
will rock Salem to its core.
They are giving Bowie's last rites.
A new hope finally arrives.
Happy anniversary, Brady. 40 years.
But will it be enough? What will it take
John and I have the rest of our lives together.
to save a life?
There's been an explosion. And John, he's been hurt pretty badly.
Days of Our Lives.
Lord Jesus. So much is happening next week.
Christian Alfonso does not age. She
doesn't.
has looked exactly the same since like 2010.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's because she like eats right, exercises, doesn't drink. So it's hopeless for
For the rest of us.
I like bread and cheese, so but no, she looks phenomenal. The hair was herring.
Is the eyebrow eyeing?
I'm sure it will be.
All right, y'all. Well, that was your week of Dishin Days. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, as always. Before we head out, Mattis,
Yeah.
where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and X at ML Mattis. And it's mostly Bimby content, so
Well, you've been doing a lot of red carpets, so
oh
you've been
yeah.
posting a lot of that.
I post my red carpet stuff too. So yeah, some pretty
Yeah.
pictures. Pretty pictures.
Yeah, check that out. Justin Lee Harrell, where can they find you on the one and only social media platform that you have?
From my Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
And that's it. Araceli, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, because I refuse to call it X, at Tia323 Araceli.
And you can find me at Lounging with Tony on all social media platforms and Google Podcasts. And you can find all of us at Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you. We will be back next Sunday for another full dish of this coming week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. In the meantime, have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourselves, and we will see you soon. BYE, everybody. And that spells